first hour, India got away to a bit of a flyer. What didn't, I guess, go according to plan from your perspective?
I think we just took a little while to adjust to the conditions. It probably wasn't as quick a wicket as we thought it might have been. It was sort of dry on top, but probably a little bit of moisture underneath. And we maybe just a touch too short with our length and allowed them to play off the back foot a bit more than we wanted. So, we just weren't able to adjust quick enough. I thought the second hour of the first session we were much better and we were able to build some pressure. So, it's a format we don't play a lot of, so adjusting to it is a little bit different. We feel like we've sort of read the conditions a little bit more now, and hopefully tomorrow we can come out and build some pressure and sort of not give that release ball. I think that was probably the thing today is we bowled some really good sort of 3 or 4 balls, and then unfortunately we just sort of let them off the hook a little bit with sort of a slightly shorter length. So, we had a few debutants today. It was, it's a great experience for us all, but we certainly think we can be a bit better tomorrow.
Meg, did you think there was something in it for the fast bowlers, but because there were runs being used, you had to turn to spin earlier than you would have wanted to?
I think there's definitely a little bit in the wicket. When we seem to hit the right length and get a little bit fuller and get them driving, it's certainly not quite there. So, we just weren't able to hit that well enough. And, the spinners sort of showed when you can build some pressure with some dot balls, then mistakes can come from that. So that was probably the thing with the pace bowlers today that just probably didn't fall into line. But that's just the way it goes. And, I feel like we've looked at it and we feel like we've got a good plan heading into tomorrow. It's just about executing and keeping it really simple and being as disciplined as we can for a little bit longer and trying to force a mistake.
How frustrating is it? I mean, you wait so long to sort of get the opportunity to play Test cricket. It's obviously pretty much half a day lost today, but I think the forecast looks super flash tomorrow. I mean, that's got to be a little bit frustrating for you, given there is such limited opportunity for you guys to play Test matches.
Yeah, it is frustrating, no doubt about that. We'd love to be out there playing as much as we can, and that's just the way it goes. And unfortunately, we'll just have to do the best that we can. I think we've got 108 overs to play tomorrow and sort of the next 2 days as well. So, everybody's really excited today. I had a really special feel about it, and a bit of an anticlimactic sort of day. Really, we didn't get the full overs in and had to wait around a fair bit. So. Hopefully the weather's a little bit better tomorrow. We sort of just work with what we've got, but certainly still looking to move the game forward as much as we can.
Had you time again would you have batted first?
I don't think so. I don't think we probably made the most of the conditions as well as we could have. We've got a good bowling attack and we need to take 20 wickets, and that's sort of been the challenge in women's test recently, is taking those 20 wickets to win the game, and that's what we thought was going to give us the best chance to do it. So it didn't quite work out as we would have liked, but we've still got plenty of opportunity to hopefully turn it around.
What do you think can be done about that test schedule? Does something need to be formalised fairly quickly so that you've really got regular tests against every nation?
Oh, that would be ideal. I think the more we play, the better we'll get technically and tactically as well. So we've got 2 tests this summer, which is really exciting. So there's certainly things that are happening in that space. We sort of understand that the shorter formats is what sort of has driven the game forward. It's just finding the right balance between how we can keep, I guess, the most traditional format of the game still a really important part of the women's schedule. And I know that, there's a lot of discussions going on around that. So for the moment, we just work with what we've got. We love the opportunity to put the baggy green on, and we've got that chance over the next couple of days, hopefully, to do as well as we can.
Some pretty limited opportunities for the debutants as well. I guess you'll be hoping that they get the chance to prove their worth as the match goes on.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they would, have been happy to get sort of their first taste of it, I guess. And I think as the game wears on, I think their natural strengths will probably suit the wicket a little bit more as sort of the sun beats down a little bit on it, hopefully over sort of Saturday and Sunday. So, they'll get their opportunity to come back and make an impact on this test match. And, it's really exciting. We just want them to run in hard and really back themselves. And I've got no doubt that they'll have the opportunity to do that over the next sort of 3 days.
Sophie Molyneux seems to be a real go-to for you at the moment, real wicket taker. How impressed with her have you been, not just today, but throughout this series and prior?
Yeah, she's a really important part of our bowling attack. She she's able to sort of hold and end up, but also take wickets at the same time, which is a pretty difficult thing to do. So, she showed again today that she was able to sort of drag it back a little bit for us in that second hour and sort of put India under the pump a little bit and sort of make them do something. So she'll play a pretty crucial role for us over the next few days, especially with sort of the quicks we've got in our lineup to be able to use them together. So she just seems to be able to deliver when it's most important, which is a pretty good trait to have.
And Elise, she couldn't get that breakthrough, but she seemed more consistent than in the ODIs.
Yeah, I thought she bowled reasonably well. I think overall the lengths and lines that she hit was pretty good. It was just sort of the odd ball again, which you sort of paid the price heavily for. But I think she created quite a few chances, which is what we want. She's been working hard at being a little bit more consistent, and we've got full faith that she'll be able to deliver it for us. She's a great of the game, playing her 250th game for Australia today, so she's got a lot of performances on the board, and we're looking forward to seeing how she goes over the next few days.
Lockie McCurdy, do you want to jump in?
Thanks, Lucy. Hey, Meg. Obviously, we saw Sophie and Ash have a real influence when they came into the game. Do you think as the test progresses, we're going to see the spinners play a big role?
Yeah, potentially. It'll sort of depend on how the wicket plays. I think it probably didn't initially up front suit, out and out quick bowling. It was just holding up a touch, so we felt the spinners were probably more effective. But I think as the test goes on and perhaps as the wicket sort of sees a little bit more sun, it might potentially quicken up and harden up a little bit. So we'll just sort of have to assess that as we go as to what's sort of more effective. But the good thing is we've got some great variation and the ability to sort of take the pace off or sort of speed things up. So it'll just depend on what the conditions do.
Snehal, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, thanks, Lucy. Hi, Meg. You played a couple of tests now with red and pink ball. Can you give us first impressions of the difference between the red and the pink ball?
Yeah, the pink ball, it seemed to be holding up pretty well. We only bowled 40 overs, I think with it, but it seemed to be okay. There was a little bit of movement early, perhaps not that much, but we didn't sort of get to bowl under the different conditions. So you might have to ask me that question after the end of tomorrow when we've had a little bit more of a crack with it. But from my perspective, it performed pretty well. So not too much different so far.
Anisha?
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, Meg. Alisa Healy seems to have said during a conversation with the broadcasters that Mithali Raj apparently called heads and then tails.
I was wondering where you were going. I think she just changed what she was calling. I think I've been lucky with my coin toss in the series so far, 4 in a row, which is very unusual for me. So I know from experience that if you start chopping and changing, it can be a pretty dangerous game. So I try to stick with the same one, but I'm not sure what Mithali's tactics are. But so far, it's worked okay for me.
And can you please talk a bit about whether Smriti Mandhana's approach against the backdrop of India's lack of practice with the pink ball sort of took the Australian attack by surprise to any measure?
Oh, I think her tempo was excellent in this innings. She was punishing the bad ball and defending the good ones, which it's pretty simple. But when you can actually execute that, it's certainly very effective. So she sort of counter punched a fair bit, and when we were just off with our length, she was able to really punish us. So far she's played extremely well. We feel like we're still in the game a fair bit when we get it right for long periods of time, but we probably just didn't quite do it for long enough. So yeah, she's played extremely well today and sort of showed how to adapt to this format. So hopefully we can come out and be a little bit more consistent, I guess, bowling to her, and therefore we'll hopefully be able to get a wicket and sort of, if we can get one, we feel like we can get a couple in a row.
And Gomesh, we'll wrap up with you.
I'm not sure if it has been asked already, but I just wanted to ask, is there any reason why Georgia Varam was not used today?
I think we only bowled 40 overs, so she just didn't get the opportunity to bowl. It was a bit stop-start. We felt sort of pace from one end and spin from the other was more effective, and I guess Sophie and Ash potentially a little bit more suited to the controlling role, I guess. Georgia Wareham is a very attacking bowler for us, and she'll get a crack throughout this test match at different points, but just with the conditions and the way sort of we needed things to roll in terms of trying to drag things back a touch and keep it tight for a bit, it probably just suited the other two spinners today, but she'll get a turn pretty soon.